So, one of the interesting problems that I think about, and I don't have the right answer to this in any sort of way, is to the degree that we should encourage innovation. We hear a lot in the popular press that innovation is really good, but really what innovation is some form of non-conformity, right? And you can view it as, doing something that's different, and you pull that sort of from a hat in terms of what that different thing is, or you're doing something that is going against the grain, all those kind of topics and ideas, but it's really just kind of some form of non-conformity in that we have the way that the world currently works, and then you're thinking about like, how can I do something different such that it might get rewarded, right? And that's the general idea behind innovation, is doing something that's distinct from what we already do, and knowing how much of this nonconformity that you should be doing is the sort of trick, right? And it's not only how much, but in what particular areas, what you might actually get rewarded in. And it's never really clear. So you can hear the whining in the background. I'm driving hands-free, of course, with my little puppy, Bab. She's burning around in the back. She's kind of whining. But, it's thinking about how much and, where should you be non-conformist with what you're doing. And it's not clear, right? Here's the thing, is that you're grappling. Nobody knows what the right answer is, right? It is completely uncertain, often ambiguous, with what you should be doing in terms of, what are the things that you should sort of be different in? What are the, the features or aspects, characteristics that you should be different in your life? And to what degree that you should be different in those particular things, right? Like how you sort of, in what sort of direction as well. It's not necessarily the degree. Should you be like different in the sense of that you be over and above in terms of conforming to the norms? Oh my gosh, there goes my phone, and you probably heard all of that. Or should you be completely different than the existing norms that you have, like in terms of being very oppositional or in a contrast of some degree? There's really not there's not a great answer, and I can't answer that other than the fact that in my perspective is really an important part of innovation, is knowing to stand out to some degree, to a certain amount. How much that is, I don't know. It really depends on the context and what you're actually doing. And then, to how much you should actually do this, or how long you should do this kind of weird, unusual behavior. I don't know. It's never really clear, right, in what you should be doing. And this is all the trick, right? And what is that particular thing that you should be non-conforming or distinct compared to what everybody else is doing? I don't know, right? I don't know what those particular things are. I don't think anybody kind of knows. It's just that you're trying to figure out what is it that actually might or might not get rewarded, right? So you're thinking about getting rewarded immediately versus being rewarded in 10 years versus on those particular efforts, right? So being a, not sort of fitting in is, I mean, everybody knows the sort of problems with not fitting in, right? In the short term, you feel a lot of anxiety, you feel all these negative emotions, and then hopefully in 30 years, right, you sort of get rewarded for those particular things, right? If you think about, all of the abolitionists, right, like that stood out, and that was actually a really positive thing. But at the time, it was really like anxiety inducing, and nobody liked it, right? Like it was like not fun. But in the long term, we know that was actually a positive thing. Or you think of the people that sort of, were speaking out in terms of gay rights, for example, right? Even in modern day, that's still a thing. Like all of those things are different and they're anxiety provoking, that you've got a lot of negative emotions when you do those things. And we know in the long run it's going to be a positive thing, right? Some people probably don't believe that, but in the long run it is going to be a positive thing, because we're going to learn how to accept people as they are, right? Like, that's really what it means. It's just learning how to accept people as we are, as they are, and not being sort of judgmental in who they are. But so, all of those things is all of these things are difficult, right? Like they're not easy. This doesn't mean like innovation's this wonderful thing. All of these things are really challenging, and anybody that's doing anything that's innovative, right, at a moment, it is challenging, right? You're going to feel those things, whether it's being, that you're doing something in terms of some sort of social innovation at this moment, or you're creating some sort of community effort, or you're creating a new product, like some sort of product innovation, whether you're innovating in your household and introducing new food to your household, then everybody is like, yeah. All of those things, it really does play out in terms of you feeling like you're not fitting in. And in the long term, maybe it does, but maybe it doesn't. That's the thing that's highly uncertain, right? Like, I can think of the number of times that we've introduced new food to our family and it hasn't worked out. We've done the sort of thing that we've introduced is, cutting back a lot more on meats and things like that, and it's kind of sticking, right? Because we have appropriate alternatives now that everybody enjoys in our family, right? Like the Beyond Beef and all that kind of stuff. But we really don't have, a good sense in what is appropriate, what is not. Just that you have to be different than the norm, right? You have to be somehow non-conforming, and to some degree, and to what degree that is, and how much, and all those questions. You never know. You never know until after, and we have to sort of be careful in terms of thinking about those. So that's what I want to say is innovation is very complicated, in the sense that I can't forecast, right? I've been studying this for a long time. I can't forecast what's going to stick. I thought Google Glass would stick. I thought that was kind of interesting, but nobody liked it. There's lots of things like that we just don't know, and we can't sort of forecast these things until it actually does stick and people kind of get it. And so I just wanted to say is, like, keep doing things that are innovative. Sort of pick and choose in your life what you're going to do, and know that you're going to have a bunch of emotions associated with it, because you are standing out like a sore thumb. And figure out how to be you when you're doing this, and be yourself, and be nice and gentle, and all those kind of things, all those humanity kind of aspects of your life. Just to be, being innovative requires you to manage those emotions as well. All right, take care, and have a wonderful day. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Bye.